Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. It is 4 minutes past the hour on this 28th day of May. It is definitely Tell the Truth Tuesday. The road show is in full effect. Hashtag truth be told. Yours truly, Joe Dupree in the building, 100 BLK, the Black Station, along with my girl Jax, who is the art therapist. You know her. She does all that good stuff, and she's rolling. She's rolling through Brick City. And my brother Fatim from the Open Line Online and keeping it real with Al Sharpton, 1075 WBLS in New York City. We in the building. Good morning, good morning, good morning. That's it. Ring
What's
the
up?
bell. Ring the bell. Good morning.
Good
How y'all
morning,
doing this morning?
everybody. We're doing good. Jax, damn it. Your daggone beautiful daughter stole the show yesterday.
Oh, my baby.
Your
Thank
baby
you.
stole the show yesterday. She did a fabulous job. I was going to put it in the chat, and I said, no, I'll save it for this morning to put it in the chat. But good morning to Sister Jax. Good morning to Sister Joe. Good morning to the folks in the
I
chat.
gotta be a
Brother,
sister.
Yeah,
Why I gotta be a
Brother Joe,
sister?
not Sister
Why I
Joe.
gotta be a sister? Why I gotta be a
uh,
sister,
I
Joe?
thought you
What you?
had your wig. I thought you had your wig on. I'm
No,
sorry. I didn't know
no.
which one I didn't know which one you was doing. RuPaul. I just didn't know. I'm sorry, Brother
Mr.
Joe,
Mr. Charlie.
Mr. Charlie and Uncle Charlie. I tell you,
Mrs. Charlie.
Mhm.
Uncle Charlie. But good morning to Douglas Guidry, Eric Winch, Michael Keith, all out there in the chat. Of course, your cousin KC's out there, Sister Jax. And I'll just let us have a quick go around. But I just saw a breaking news story. Boy, some of your colleagues, Joe, some of your colleagues, man, I tell
What they
you,
doing? What they doing? What you mean, my colleagues? What you mean? What you mean? Talk to
San
me.
Diego,
Talk to me now. Talk to me.
I'll read the daggone report. TMZ is just reporting a San Diego Police Department officer accidentally locked himself in
Hold
the
on.
backseat of his patrol car with a female suspect after she propositioned him to have sex, leading to his resignation amid an eternal police investigation. And now it's all become public. So he got propositioned, got in the back car. He must have forgot that once you lock that door, you can't
That's
open
it.
that door from the inside. You understand what
That's
I'm
it.
saying? Car came to a crawl. He had to call for a supervisor. Supervisor came, unlocked him, but Internal Affairs investigated him. He said he got in the back of the car to check the suspect, but he resigned. So I guess he resigned, trying to keep this, on a hush hush. But unfortunately,
Mm.
it's out there, and that's the power. That's the power. At the end of the day, people take these oaths and they to uphold the law and do certain jobs, but we're human. And I'm not saying giving the person a pass, but you got to realize that when we put on a uniform or when we go out there, we're still challenged by the same everyday things. And it's hard sometimes to, not to succumb to some of these temptations out there. And I'm just being real about it this morning. This is Tell the Truth Tuesday.
Tell the truth. And I say this. Just because you're a bad person putting on an honorable uniform doesn't all of a sudden make you a good person. You still that same bad person. You just happen to be disguised in an honorable uniform that you in an honorable profession. That happened with police officers. That happened with priests. That happens with teachers. That happens with doctors. That happens with a lot of folks who are bad people who put on honorable uniforms as a disguise to disguise who they are as a bad person. Yes, you're absolutely correct, brother Fatim. There's a lot of bad people out there in disguise doing
That's
bad
right.
things and having people get upset at the honorable profession that they're doing bad things under the auspice of. Yeah,
Yep.
you're right. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
tell the truth.
What you got for Sister Jax this morning?
Yeah, no, you know what? You are so right. There are bad people everywhere. And just like there are bad people, there's a whole bunch of good people. So we need to,
Mm,
like we talk about, salute and big ups all the good people, all the good officers, all the good teachers, all the good parents,
come
just
on
all
now.
the good people. Because like we say sometimes, like the bad press gets so much, but it's our duty, right? It's our duty to continue to give the greatness of our people, the greatness of what's going on in the community, I mean, even in the city of Newark, there's so much greatness. Although there's still crime and things that are going wrong and things that are messed up, as with any other big city, we have a lot of people with boots on the ground that are doing everything in their power to change a life one at a time. So big ups to my beautiful city of Newark. Big ups to Lafayette for the people like you, and big ups to South Carolina and New York City, Alphatine, for people like you. So that's what's up.
I got a quick question. How is the weather where you at? Because yesterday and today here in Texas, it is hot as Hades. I swear before Jesus. Oh my God. I was like,
The weather is nice here. Like right now in my car, it says it is well, it says it's 73 degrees. It feels a little bit warmer than that, but it's supposed to be like in the 80s today. So that's a nice thing.
My
What about you,
God.
Fatine?
Yeah, well, it's good here. It's good in South Carolina, New York. Matter of fact, people, my daughter had a 2-hour delay from Miami yesterday because of the Northeast, those storms that came out of Illinois the day before wreaked havoc down, yesterday in the Northeast, which disrupted so many air flights. But Dallas, Texas, as Joe said, it was hot where he was at. You're talking about hail. Dallas Airport, I'm not saying it was shut down, but the delays, Dallas right now, I got to check because our main hub for Reverend Al Sharpton's show this afternoon comes out of Dallas. Ricky Smiley comes out of Dallas. D.L. Hughley comes out of Dallas. And they have in Texas, in that region,
Power
over
outages.
600,000
Right.
people that were without power this morning. So hopefully our backup generators are in place to work because, Texas, a couple of years during the pandemic, when they went through bad weather, their power grid failed. It basically failed, and our shows went to poo.
Correct.
We had to kind of switch into Atlanta to do some of our national syndicated shows. So I'm telling you, this year with this weather, I'm telling you, folks, the climate change is real. It is real, and I'm not trying to look. It's real, and if you can fool around with yourself if you want to, but it's real. And if you don't make some adjustments on how you go about for preparation, some of you don't even know with the fallout shelters. If it's a hurricane or whatever, a tornado. Sometimes you ain't got time, especially a tornado in the night. What will you do? I'm in a structure. I'm in an apartment complex. So if a hurricane comes in the Carolinas, I've been in Hurricane Sandy. Luckily, I was uptown and I was in a strong, secure building. But Superstorm Sandy, as they call it, wreaked havoc of our area up there in New York, in the New York tri-state area. So people, I'm just telling you, be prepared, understand climate change. There's a lot to be aware of.
That's
speaking about weather.
Wait 1 second. We got to remind our viewers, our listeners, everyone that's new, make sure you get homeowners insurance. And what else, Brother Fatine?
Flood insurance. Flood insurance is not part of homeowners insurance.
Yes.
That part.
Make
part.
Sure you get it. Don't procrastinate. Be proactive instead of reactive. So pick up the phone, call Progressive, Google it, do whatever company you have to go with. Call them and get price. Even if you just get the minimum threshold, get something, because something is better than nothing. So we got to protect ourselves, guys. Go ahead, Joe.
And yes, speaking about insurance and speaking about the weather and this inclement weather that is going on, it has been predicted by NOAA that this hurricane season and this summer will be a very active season, more active than normal. So they are expecting more storms, as you are seeing throughout the nation. Storms are ravishing in places that you normally wouldn't even expect the storm to show up at. So family, be prepared. Listen,
Joe, did you say, Joe, wait, hold on. Did you say it was predicted by Noah or NOLA?
Noah, not NOLA.
Noah to build the ark. That's who predicted this.
No,
because I know he knew a forecast. He knew a forecast that a lot of people didn't know. So you said Noah or NOLA? NOLA. I'm just trying to see which one you're talking about.
It was NOAA. It's NOAA. It's the National Oceanic. I forgot what it stands for, but it's the people who predict the storms. Yeah, that group of folk. I they may have named it after that guy, who said,
Yeah.
man, why you knocking on this wood and stuff? Well, somebody told me it's gonna rain, and everybody might start laughing, but it wasn't no laughter when the rain began to start falling. Speaking of
That's
which,
right. Two by
being
two.
right.
Noah.
Speaking of which, some of y'all, and I'm just gonna throw this out here, and this is a quick jab at folks who do this. Man, some of y'all got to stop going broke, trying to prove to folks who are broke that you ain't broke. I'm gonna say that again for the slow folks in the back. Some of y'all need to stop going broke, trying to prove to folks who are broke that you ain't broke. And that's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah.
Ring a ding ding, because you know what? That's
Oh,
the truth. We will sure make sure that in our community, our kids, our family, our friends, us, that we have the newest, whatever, the nicest, whatever, and still not quite living like we could live. So we invest in a lot of the wrong things. We have misplaced priorities, and we definitely have to do better. Because when you go to the wealthier communities, they might just have. I mean, you have some of the ones that are super extra with it, right? But then you still have other people that are still wealthy that like nice things. There's nothing wrong with liking nice things, but they still are more responsible with it for the most part. They make sure they have their investments, their savings, their children are getting the tutors that they need. Because guess what? For the price that you're paying for a pair of Jordans or whatever type of shoes for your kids, you could get a tutor for less than that sometimes. A
mm,
couple of tutoring sessions. So your
mm,
kid can look fly and run down the court or even walk. The kids nowadays, y'all, when they're walking, they don't even want creases in their shoes. Isn't that
come on
crazy?
now.
These kids
Come
Yeah.
don't
on
want
now.
creases across the
Yeah.
top of their shoe. The
No, I don't want
natural way
creases in the top of my Air Force Ones neither, Jax. I swear to God.
that's
They
funny.
get creases, I throw them away. Oh,
Yeah,
see, I don't want creases in mine. In what you're saying is very interesting, and I want to, because we talked about this the other day, but we talk about the mindset. Why do people try to cut corners, Jax and Joe?
Uh-huh.
Why do people try to cut corners to get things that they want? Because that's our mind. Listen, my parents did go broke. They didn't have money, but they made sure I dressed well. You understand what I'm saying? They went
Come on now.
without so I could have, and I'll be honest with you, it's a mindset, because I've done it. I robbed Peter to pay Paul. It's times I put my rent on to make sure I look good. You understand? That's why I hated when I had to work for corporate America and wear suit and ties and had to be this glamorous person, and realized that when the 90s, when the .com era hit, at least in the New York area, we dressed down so we could take our talent to work, but we didn't have to take our closet to work, and we didn't have to take our pockets to work.
That's right. That's right. Oh, and I like how you said that, take your talent to work. Because too often we're worried about all the wrong stuff, especially some of our sisters. They're worried about the, name brand bags, the name brand shoes, and the clothes. Like, who cares? Because guess what? The same manufacturer in China pretty much makes it all. And they make it on the assembly line. And, they might make the Kmart jeans or Walmart or whatever type of jeans for, $7, and they're retailed, for $14. The same exact manufacturer is taking that same pattern, the same material to make the jeans for a high-end brand, but all they're doing is changing the buttons, the rivet, the hang tag, and the label on the inside. And that same $7 pair of jeans is then being resold for, maybe $400. So we really have to understand and don't let the labels make us. We're too quick to identify and let those labels make us. When it's nothing wrong with having nice things. God wants us to have nice things, but we can't let that define us. And if we don't have it, we still can't let not having it define us. You still look. You can go to the thrift shop. You can go to Walmart. You could take a high end piece, mix it with the low end piece, and still look like $1,000,000. I've
Come
seen
on
chicks
now.
out there with a high end expensive dress on that look like trash. You know what I'm saying?
Come on
Look
now.
like trash. And then you see
Trash.
another young lady, trash. You see another young lady with something that did not cost as much, and she looks like $1,000,000. She looks elegant and regal and royal. And her outfit might have cost her $50, $60. Whereas the other
Right.
one spent 5,000, but because it's so and so brand, she thinks that she looks the bomb. And she
But
looks a mess.
Mm,
but
So
that's it. This is interesting, Jax, what you just
uh-huh.
said. I want to bring this back to the kids, because I had a big debate about this. But remember, the debate was that they were putting all the New York City public school system students in elementary school in uniform.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I fought it, and I'm gonna tell you how they worked it, is that in some districts, and some of those districts that schools were performing better than other districts in the city, which happened to be white districts, they didn't fall under that uniform policy. And they came with the crap. They came with the crap that, oh, it's better. So where some kids don't have, it don't put the spotlight on them. So it kind of equals the base. And then the kids can come in and they start at an equal platform. I could have went for that if they had up-to-date textbooks. My kids didn't even have textbooks for some classes. They were Xeroxing papers to send home with them. You understand what I'm saying? So I saw the cover up. So I saw that. I fought it. I fought it in my school. My principal said, she changed, she kind of tweaked it, and she said, okay, Friday would be a dress down day. But she also said that students that operated at a certain percentage, they can also maneuver. My daughters were one. My younger daughter operated over a 90% level in grades, but she always wanted to wear her uniform. So she did. My younger daughter, she wanted to be creative. She wanted to throw on them jeans, them Nikes, and something else. She could do that and would not be penalized. And I remember where she didn't go on a trip and she went to another class, and the teacher penalized her, and she's not even in that class. So I reprimanded that teacher. Then when my daughter went to award ceremony, knocked it out with all those awards. And I went up to the teacher and I said, I guess my daughter's uniform did that. You understand what I'm saying? Oh. The point I'm trying to say is some kids, and this is interesting, it can work psychologically for kids that don't have, if you can't put them in uniform, it can work. But it also can work the other way around, because we dressed. We were talking about this yesterday with my family. We dressed starting in the 5th grade. And Eric, if you on here, we came out of Brooklyn. We dressed. People in Manhattan, we dressed in public school, junior high school. I remember, I go back, I'm telling my age, Marshmallows, British Knights, British Walkers, all this, Playboys, Quarterfields, cardigans. We did it. Stratford jackets, we wore it. Robin Hoods, Kangos, we dressed. And when we walked into school, we felt good about ourselves. So our mindset was different than if I got these high waters, I got to go to school, I'm hiding from people picking on me. My mindset, my mentality, next thing I'm in a fight, people in fights. So sometimes when you dress well, it starts your day. You get a good meal, you dress well, it starts your day. So I can see how the uniforms can work. I just hate that the New York City Department of Education at that particular time used that as a scapegoat. But I do see the benefits, but I also see the benefits of the creativity if you have it to look good. But I don't think that parents that have it should make their kids look so glamorous, but make sure they look good, clean, and go to school and be neat.
Yeah, you know what, and I definitely understand, but both sides of it. I mean, growing up, I was able to eventually go to private school from 4th grade to 8th grade and beyond that. But in public school, we didn't have uniforms. But in private school, we had uniforms in wealthy, affluent private schools. And I understand the difference. Even doing a lot of work here in my community in Newark, a lot of the schools, it's a uniform policy. And even with the uniform policy, some of the parents can't even afford uniforms. And like you said, the high waters, you have a lot of kids, little boys especially, are growing at exponential rates. And before you know it, by the springtime, or midwinter, their ankles are showing. You know what I'm saying? They have high waters, and the parents still can't even afford to get them clothes. But then you have some of the other children whose parents will spend their last dime to have a birthday party for their kids and spend all this money, or get them all these glamorous clothes. And then you have the other less fortunate financial, a poor situation child, their parents can't afford it. Or sometimes they don't even have parents, they're with an auntie, an uncle, a big brother, a foster parent who could care less about how they go to school. And then that's when the bullying and the fighting and the gunplay, all of that stuff comes into play. And it's just really unfortunate. And it's funny, my daughter and I were talking yesterday, it's almost like a uniform in the hood. Everybody got on a Nike ski, black Nike ski, winter, spring, summer, or fall. They have on the Nike ski, a black Nike Tech, sweatshirt, and then, some sort of black, sweatpants, skinny jeans, something. But a lot of the kids around here nowadays, especially, just wear all black, whether they're getting into something or whether they're not getting into something. You know what I mean? But they still sometimes just can't afford the basics. And that's why for me, with my art therapy program, I made sure I partnered up with my celebrity friends, my people in the community, to get clothing for the children, because they would come to my class with the same clothes. They
Come
would
on
come to my
now.
class. The clothes sometimes was smell, sometimes they were visibly dirty, and they wanted more, but they couldn't afford it. Their parents could not afford it. So I said, I'm going to make sure these young men and women have what they need. So you guys should see how much clothing, that I got for them. There were organizations that, came to my aid and helped these kids. And I mean, I used to try to do it on the low and like, here, come here, take a couple of kids, come in this room real quick. I'm going to show you some clothes. They got to the point, Miss J, don't hide these clothes. They would take the garbage bags, boom, dump garbage bags full of clothes on a table. I mean, full of, clothes onto the table. Clothes, sneakers, shoes, whatever it is. And they were helping each other pick out outfits. Yo, this fits you. You should take this. Yo, match it up with these pants. And they were excited about it. They weren't ashamed like most people would think. And these kids are in gangs and selling drugs and stealing cars, and they still needed stuff. And they would come back and say, Miss J, thank you so much. Now I don't have to take a trip down the road to steal a car to cash it in and get money to get some clothes that I need. And these kids are
Come on.
14, 15, 16, 17 years old. So we have to still try to help them. And even, some parents, they ain't down with hand-me-downs. I know hand-me-downs wasn't a problem. Even when I had my kids, I was getting tons of hand-me-downs, and I was recycling and giving
Nope.
back to somebody else.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
You ain't down with it.
Nope.
See, yeah, well, I told you, we already know. Hey, we're gonna be careful with this cake. We're gonna be very careful with this cake. Listen, KC said this, and I gotta post it because she's right. She said she's all for the uniforms. One less distraction for the kids, and she's
What do you
correct.
mean she's right? What do you mean she's right? Why is she right?
I mean,
No,
listen,
she ain't.
you hold it. In these days and times, I
These
agree
days
with
and
that
times.
because no, in
These days
see,
and times,
once
what's the
again,
difference?
once again, Fatim, you going back to your nostalgic days, and we get
No,
it.
I ain't going
We
back
were
to, but I'm saying, but
that.
what changes our day, dude? I had more gangs doing the set. Michael Keats is in here. We had more gangs in Brooklyn and Manhattan back in the day than we have today. What do you mean, my nostalgic days? We had more poverty back then to today. So what do you mean in today's time? That's all I'm asking. What has changed to the day that has created that? That's the mindset. At the end of the day, I've known some people that came out of, that we used to design our clothes and go down to Delancey Street and have the tailor after we take our design. And some of those kids became tailors, not tailors, designers. So what I'm saying, what do you mean these days? I'll shut up, Joe, because I put out a question. I'm going to let you respond. What do you mean in these days and time?
So now that you have so eloquently did your rant, I'll let Jax finish first, and then I'll come back.
You said it, so you answered. Don't throw it to Jax. You said it. I agree, and I asked you why, because you said in these days and time. Now respond, Joe, please.
Because Brother Fatim, this is a different age and time than we're in. We dealt with Encyclopedia Britannica. They're dealing with everything is online, selfiness. They're dealing with Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. You didn't have these things, Brother Fatim. You roll your eyes out of hell you want to. The truth is the truth. Just because you don't see
what
it
that
that
got
way.
to do with anything with uniforms? What does that have to do with uniforms in school?
It got plenty to do with it because once again, as Jack said, back in our days, you can even think about back in our days, and I can look at it because I was a very fashionable person. I always have been very fashionable. People knew me by my fashion. To be exact, that was my nickname. My nickname was Rags. So at the end of the day, here's what I do know. Those who were less fortunate than me, that didn't have the ability to go to school. Because when I was in school, no, we didn't have uniforms. And I was one of the cleanest kids in school. That was my reputation. But I did feel sorry. And I did see times that conflict and situation was happening because people would be picking at folks because of the way they were dressed. When you have a uniform, you still might have issues where folks will pick at folks because a uniform doesn't disguise body odor. A uniform doesn't disguise poverty if you're impoverished. But back in our days, I can be very honest with you. You could really tell the poor kids from the kids who were well off to do just from the way they dressed. And I'm happy that they don't have that to deal with today, even though some can determine even though they're all dressed in the same uniform, that this kid just ain't got it like I got it. But at least that's like they said, that's one less distraction. I'm just saying
That's
it's a
right.
different
That's
time
right.
for team. That's my
Let me
opinion.
just
And I
respond.
Sister
Let me
Jack,
just respond. Let me just respond to that. So,
uh,
so just like Sister Jack said, and she just blacked out. Just like Sister Jack said, if you don't have it with regular clothes, some of the kids don't have it for uniforms. So you still have the same or similar dynamic as those that don't have that. So the kids that didn't have during my era, you know, I watched how they went through. They didn't sit in the corner and so they found their niche, they found their friends, and they went on about their business. Us that had, we did one thing we didn't do because our parents. Now I'll talk of different era. I'll say this: our parents didn't tolerate us making fun of somebody else that didn't have. Now, kids were kids.
Your parents didn't. Not all parents felt that day. All parents weren't that way.
I got it. But I come from a community that, yeah, kids were kids. We govern ourselves more. So we had a lot more leeway in being away from our parents. But once our parents and guardians found out, they checked us and see, they were all on the same page. So I look back and I can look back at some of the kids in my neighborhood that didn't have or dress as fancy as some of us, but they never felt bad. We played together. We ran together. We walked to school together, and we never made fun of them. And if somebody came up to make fun of them, somebody rolled up on my cousin in the courtyard in IS 320. Jackie Robinson is now PS something in across the street from Ebbets Field. You know, when I went to step, because the guy that rolled up on my cousin didn't know that was my family member. But did you know my friends also roll with me? That's how we looked out for one another. So what I'm saying is, even though those that didn't have, just like Sister Jax, we were strong knit family, that if our parents saw that, they would step into the parent. They would not deal with the kid. They would step into the parent, deal with the parent. So all I'm saying is, be careful how we say it, because like Jack said, those that don't have during the uniform era, you still see the effect. I see the dirty skirts. I see the too short shirts, the too short skirts, the run over shoes. So I still see it even in the uniform era. That's why I'm saying this days and times is not quite different. It's
okay. So let me respond to that. However, in these days and time, they have many charitable and people who have a heart to give, that they give away. They do uniform drives. They give away uniforms. They give opportunity for those who are less privileged. Now, Fatim, if you be honest, I don't know how it was in New York. I didn't grow up in New York, but I can speak about how it was in the South. I can tell you how it was in Tennessee, where I grew up at. They weren't giving away the latest, greatest clothes because you couldn't afford the latest, greatest clothes to go to school. If you didn't have, you just didn't have, and you had to go to school with what you had. And with the uniform era, I think there is a little difference. To be exact, for team, since it seems to be we're not really agreeing, let me take it to our audience. How do y'all feel about it? Would you rather have the uniforms, or would you rather have it back like we had it back in the day, that whatever you can wear, you can wear? Put your comment in the chat, because me and Brother Fatim just seem to today on this Tell the Truth Tuesday, we not seeing eye to eye. So I'm gonna leave it to the people, Brother Fatim. To be exact, I'm gonna start doing some polls. I'm gonna figure out a way to install some polls here on hashtag Truth Be Told, because Fatim, I'm not saying this to be right. I'm just saying it's my humble opinion. And
no, I told you earlier. I understood. I understood I told you I understood the Remember what I said when I started this conversation? I said I understood the mindset and what they were trying to do. But they did it as a smokescreen. And when they did it as a smokescreen, it was to cover up. I'm not going to sit here and say I didn't see some benefits from it at all. I'm not that crazy. But what I'm saying is I saw the difference. My kids didn't bitch or moan about wearing the uniforms, even though my oldest daughter had a little bit more leeway because of the principal and her schoolwork. You understand what I'm saying? So when she decided Tuesday, well, I'm going to wear my jeans and my sneakers, she was able to do that. But what happens is she was able to do that because she was getting a benefit from doing what she needed to do and excel higher.
Right. Come on.
Understand what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying, that we got to learn that creativity And when we stifle our kids, starting with dress, we always say, well, it's better for the kids, but it may not always be better, because creativity, part of our creativity growing up was part of our dress. That look at you, Joe. I watch you, Joe, to this day. You are one of the best dressed black men that I've seen and worked with. You understand? And it sometimes stems. I hear the brother that we brought on, you brought on the last week, he talked about you got to dress the part. Well, a lot of us dressed the part starting in 5th and junior high school and high school. So we didn't have to learn how to dress.
Oh, hold it. But brother Fatim, hold on, Sister Jax. I got to hit him with this. Then I'm going straight to you. But brother Fatim, it goes back to what I always have been saying in this show. We talk about a kid problem that's really a parenting problem, because the reason I dressed the way I dressed had really very little to do with me, had everything to do with Earlene Anderson, had to do with my mother. My mother made sure when I didn't want to dress, because I used to cry, I used to complain, Mama, the rest of the kids ain't got to dress up, look like I look. And guess what, my mama, she said, they're going to come a day, son. They're going to come a day that you
Did she make you look
happy.
like Poindexter? Did she make you look like Poindexter?
Yes.
See, but see, the difference is that we all dressed in a certain style of clothes, Joe. It's a different mindset. Your parents did that. My mother didn't know nothing about marshmallows and Playboy shoes and cardigans and quarterfills and all these sheepskin jackets. We knew that. So that was our creativity.
Right. But brother Fatim, once again, okay, we're coming right to you, Jax. It has to do with, first of all, the two separate mindsets of the areas you grew up in. Correct. You grew up in New York City. I grew up in rural Tennessee. So it was two different mindsets. And even with you growing up in New York City and me growing up in rural Tennessee, I promise you, I can dress with some of your New York fashion moguls just as clean as they do, if not cleaner. But once again, it had not so much to do with me, but the parenting of my mom and father. My dad allowing my mom to say, look, this is how I want our son to dress. And my dad saying, well, I'm going to teach him some manly things, but yes, Earlene, if you want him to look this way, we're going to work this out and make it happen. It had all to do with parenting. Now, Sister Jax, it is on you. The floor is yours.
Thank you. And you know what? You are absolutely right with the parenting component of it, right? So, Brother Fatim, you come from the generation and from the era where I guarantee you had an ironing board and you had creases in your pants. You went to school with creases in your pants. Nowadays, these kids, if they iron, they just iron it flat out on the bed or on the floor. They ain't thinking about the ironing board. That's even if the iron sees their clothes. You know what I'm saying? Some of these kids in households don't even have a doggone iron, right? So now when you think about it, when you think about parenting and when you think about the morals and the mindset and the landscape back then, it's far different than today. Back then, your mother wasn't showing up to your school with rollers in her hair and slippers and pajama pants on. You know what I'm saying?
Come on
Nowadays, parents, if they do show up to school, sometimes they are showing up with a damn doobie still wrapped up in some pajama pants and some big fuzzy fluffy slippers. Now,
hold on, negligee. Some of them coming to school almost naked.
Yeah, exactly. And so if you go to certain schools now, you might see, and if say there's no dress code, right? The integrity and the morals is not there like it used to. And like you said, Joe, there's the whole social media era and what these kids see, these little ratchet stripper chicks,
come on now. Come on.
These little girls want to dress like them. They idolize them, right? They got the hair, they got the lashes, they got the, booty shorts on and all of that stuff. So now if no uniforms, half these kids be going to school with booty shorts on, leaving booty juice on every damn seat they sit on, and just looking nasty and not, they're not going to be dressing like a lady. You know what I'm saying? The brothers, they not, I think uniforms are it. I agree with KC and the other people in the chat. I agree with you, Joe. Brother Fatim.
That's fine. That's good. And good. I'm gonna always stand on my principle, because the reason why I'm gonna always stand on my principle, because it still comes down to parenting. I didn't have a younger sister, but they know where my younger sister, even if she didn't have a uniform, she's going to walk out that house with booty shorts. So it comes down to the parent. See, so it still comes down to the parent. That's why I'm saying we're allowing something else to do the parenting because the parents won't do their damn job. So what you just said, Jax, oh, they walking out with booty shorts, that's the damn parents' fault. So don't put it on uniforms because, oh, the uniforms cover up the mindset. Because if they still want to wear booty shorts, once they get out of school, they're still going to put on booty shorts. So let's deal with the mentality and deal with parenting. So if it's uniforms or no uniforms, if the mindset is right, they won't walk in booty shorts in uniforms or non-uniforms. Come on, y'all.
So you're right, brother 15.
Wait, real quick, Joe. If the kids are in class to get an education, so if my son is in school to get an education and focus on the teacher, but he got 10 big body girls, in front of him with booty shorts on, walking around the classroom, bending over, doing all this extra stuff. And these little girls now, they don't have a problem twerking anywhere, tongues hanging out, all ratchet. That's even more of a distraction. So at least when my son is in school, he should be able to pay attention to the teacher, focus, and do what he has to do. Do you have ratchet girls with uniforms on? Absolutely. But sometimes the way you dress,
with their tops buttoned down, their bras showing, cleavage is up in the uniform, same thing. And now, wait a minute, we talked about this last night, and I was talking to an educator out of Charlotte, my cousin out of Charlotte, and I said to her, my teachers was old. My daughter's 5th grade teacher don't game at me. She was only 26. My other daughter's teacher, 28. The dean, 30. So what are you talking about? Distraction. Hell with the student. The teacher was the damn distraction.
Oh, no.
She walks in there, tight jeans, apple bottom jeans on, heels, cleavage up here, jiggling like this. That teachers was a damn distraction. The administrators a distraction. Hell with the kids being a distraction.
So brother Fatim.
Yes, sir.
Now, look at you right now in your 60s and know where you at with your sexuality. Hold on. Let's go somewhere.
Hey,
no,
let's
no,
go.
no. Okay.
Let's go.
So brother Fatim, look at you at your age and knowing where you at with your sexuality. Just imagine if you were right now back in your high school days with that high school testosterone running, and all of a sudden there wasn't any uniform and they could wear what they want to wear. And understand, just think about that.
So think about that for a minute. Whoa. What the hell do you think those girls were wearing in junior high school? They didn't have to wear See, that's the thing. To wear booty shorts, y'all don't realize the females back in our day, they dressed with class. Don't you know that? Look at Sister Jax. Look how beautiful Sister Jax looks. And she covers up, brother. So we had beautiful women.
Hold on.
No, let me make my point. Make my point. I didn't need to see somebody's cleavage or butt cheeks to see it as a distraction. Just to look at the beauty sitting across from there had me mesmerized. See, I tell you, you use excuses sometimes and say that's an extra. No, them beautiful young ladies that went to school, that came to school, didn't come with bonnets. They didn't come with, their hair was nicely done. Beautiful, looking beautiful, not much makeup. Because remember, we in junior high school. So they just looking beautiful as Jax. You don't think that wasn't a distraction? You don't think that was a distraction?
It's a different standard
brother Fatim.
But that's beauty, but that's our standard of beauty. But it still didn't make me get like this in class.
But brother Fatim, we talking 2 different eras, 2 different situations. And we compared apples to oranges because hold on. Since you brought up
apples to oranges.
Hold up. Since you brought up our beautiful co-host, Sister Jax, and how she looks today, let me tell you something. Sister Jax didn't always. Hold on. The reason I said that, brother Fatim, not where once again we can pat you on the back and you can hold on to the cake, but where I can make the point clear. Sister Jax didn't always look like this. She didn't always look like she looked today. This came from a styling and a development that she decided to look like this. But back in the day, when Sister Jax wasn't in the spiritual place that she is right now, Sister Jax, I promise you, if Sister Jax walked in the room, brother Fatim, with some tight pants on and showing her, you, my brother, probably with a whole lot of other brothers, would probably say, "Whoa, who that? Come on now. Come on, brother. Let's
Sister Jax is Matter of fact, you know, again,
She's
when you're in
turning
your
heads
junior high,
today. Hold it. She's modest today and turning heads. I couldn't see her if she popped out really trying to show you a little something, something.
yeah,
Come on, family.
but I'll just say this, and I know what you're saying, so I'm not going to sit here and do that. But if you have any a sense of consciousness, and when I use the word consciousness, Jack, soft consciousness as a young person, a sister like her look more attractive than, because you got to realize I grew up in an era where Black Power was still out. It was still the remnants of Black Power. 5% Nation, especially big in New York. Clarence 13X coming out of the Nation, separated from the Nation, created the 5% Nation. And those women, those sisters were considered Earth. They dressed very modest, but beautiful. And they became a distraction. You know why? Because they were beautiful and in their mind. So at the end of the day, I understand physical is always going to attract us. But beauty is always going to attract us. And when a woman has some kind of self-respect, and we learn that as at a young age, when a woman has self-respect about her, sometimes she becomes even more attractive to the woman that basically shows as much as she can without being naked in the street.
Well, fine, and beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So hold up. Hold on. Everybody, listen. One man's treasure might be another man's trash, and vice versa. So I can't really roll with that, Fatim. At the end of the day, you watch this. Watch this. I got a partner. If you ain't, hold on, I don't care how good you look. In my opinion, in Joe's opinion, if you ain't 250 plus pounds, you ain't cute to him. He'll tell you, man, she ain't my type. Of nah, man, that ain't what I want. Stop.
That's type and preference of what he like, but that don't mean he couldn't look at somebody 150 and say that's beautiful. He just said that's not my type and not kind of woman I want. But that don't mean that the other women are not beautiful.
Once again, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Because one thing you might call beautiful, I might say, man, I don't see what you see in that. I don't see the beauty in that. It might look good, but it ain't beautiful. Once again, Brother Fatim, I can't put my ideology. We can have different facts. We can't have different facts. We can have different opinions. And at the end of the day, what you might behold as beautiful, I might be like, man, what is he seeing in that? You know, at the end of the day, but all I can say is this: you are absolutely right. Back in the day, and still today, to certain brothers like you and I, for example, I'll testify. I'll give you your props. Beauty is more than just an exterior beauty. There has to be a very big mental component. And guess what? I have always been the type brother that, you know, I've had my certain quote unquote type, but I have learned that beauty is much more than just an exterior look. That's all I have to say about that. Sister Jax.
You know, it's funny, Joe. I was thinking about you yesterday. I was going to give you a call. I was cracking up. Because what you call ugly girls, Joe? A growly Gus?
A growly Gus. A growly Gus.
What's a growly Gus?
I was in the house cleaning up, and for some reason, I heard Joe's voice in my head say growly Gus. And I was just cracking up laughing. I was like, I got to give Joe a call. But then I got tied up with stuff. But, I mean,
you know what?
Right. Like, go ahead.
You know what I got that from? And I have to give credit because I don't want to be a plagiarizer. I got that from when my youngest child, Kai Malik, was growing up. We used to watch a show called Wubsy. Wubsy, Wow Wow. It was Wow Wow Wubsy, Wubsy, Wow Wow. And Wubsy, Wow Wow used to be scared because in the monster that was in the closet was called a growly Gus. And that's where I got that from. And that's why a growly Gus. So go ahead, Jax. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, so I mean, like you say, beauty isn't in the eye of the beholder. I mean, these young men, you know, for the most part, a lot of these young men are not dressing like the young men did back in the day. Because you got to think, Brother Fatim, even in you and Joe's era, like back then, the men, a lot of the men dress nice. You know, when I look at pictures of my grandfather and his brothers and my great aunts and uncles, they were dressed, you know, with nice 3-piece suits on and tailored, even straight out of slavery. You know what I'm saying? They were dressed nice, you know what I'm saying? Tailored garments on, looking like powerful, right? But now when you look at, you know, these young men, they don't own a suit. Listen, when I went to court a couple of weeks ago with one of my art therapy students, to look how these young men and women were going to court was disgraceful. That's automatically a disrespect to the courtroom. They're going to court as though they're about to go rob the, steal a car, down a block or something like that. Like I said, they had on their black ski masks in court. Like, bro, like not my student, but the other kids. Do you realize that you're in here for stealing cars, but you're still going to show up with the damn, basically the gun on your hip and the ski mask on your head? It makes no sense. And you're there with your mother, and some people were there with their mother and their grandmother. Stressed the heck out. And it's just like, there's no respect for authority. There's no respect for the courtroom. There's no respect for the classroom. You know what I'm saying? So, like you say, it's the mindset and how I would never let my child, even when my art therapy students, and even before I was doing a lot of the art therapy with my population, I was making sure young men knew how to tie a tie. For years, I've been doing that for at least 15, 20 years, teaching young men how to tie a tie. But not only young men, but I was also teaching young women how to tie a tie, because these little girls, they may become, God forbid, single mothers one day, and have to show their young boys how to put on a tie to go to, whether it be the church, to a funeral, to a meeting, a job interview. They need to have those skills as well, or even for a wedding or something. You know what I mean? So even with my ex-husband, I said to him at one point, look, bro, I'm not tying your tie every Sunday. So I did it for a while, but I'm like, now's the time that you need to learn how to do it yourself. So I even had to teach him how to tie a tie. And I said, this is going to be the last Sunday I'm going to tie your tie, because I got little kids to get ready and myself. And all you got to do is figure out how to tie a tie. So there was a simple method that I used to tie a tie, but I still always teach people. But these kids nowadays don't know how to tie a tie. They don't have a button-down shirt. Half of them don't have polo shirts. Nothing to look presentable. They just got play clothes. You know what I'm saying? You remember when we were little, we would have our set of play clothes and our play sneakers, and then we would have our going somewhere sneakers and our going somewhere clothes.
Oh, yeah. That's how our parents say it.
Everything is play clothes.
Yeah. So one of the things I remember taking my next door neighbor, I never forget, and I don't know why it was 12. Oh, I know why it was, because the mother next door worked late, and the older sister, I told you a little bit about my next door neighbor, Jack. We'll leave it like that, right? But anyway, and I think Hanifa wasn't home. She was in the hospital. And I remember it was 12:30, and the young lady said her brother had a function to go to and didn't know how to tie the tie. So I remember bringing them over to my house at 12:30. My daughters are sitting up on the couch. I was like, I don't know why they up, but they up. And I'm sitting there showing him how to tie a tie. Now, my kids are female, so they don't have to know how to tie a tie. But just to remember what I told you, optics, this goes in their head. So when they choose men, they can go back. My father not only tied ties, he took to the neighbor next door, the young boy, and showed him how to tie the tie. Those things go far, and that's what our job is to do. And that's what I did in our community. But let's go to a comment. Let's go to a comment here. Jewel Wall says, and it's going to come out kind of funny after I read the comment in my response, but it is what it is. Looks is not everything. A person's personality counts. So, Jewel, you're right. Looks is not everything. Personality balances. But I'm going to tell you this, and I know I hate to use the Billy D because that's old back in the day. But if you look at some of your actors today that walks in the room and turns head, I know I'm not that brother. And I got that and I understand that. But I'm just being real with you. I can have the best personality, but if that young lady is not some kind of attractive to me, it is not going to work. And me and my friend, and we used to make up nicknames for people, but we didn't disrespect. But he had this beautiful young lady. Oh my God. But he nicknamed her Dum Dum. We were just talking about Dum Dum the other day. She was such a beautiful person, but she was an airhead. And when she was an airhead, she wasn't stupid. I'm going to call her stupid. She because she became a what you call a mortuary person. I hate to use undertaker, but mortician. Yeah, she became that. Mortician. She became that. She put herself through school. And you know how she did this, Jax? Just like in the movie Players Club. On 42nd Street, she was a stripper. Wow. Okay. Inside one of the sides of them buildings, that was legal where you can go and so and so. Like so. I remember her bringing me home in at the time it was a Hyundai Sonata. She paid cash with that car.
Come on now.
So T-Mac nicknamed her Dum Dum, but she wasn't Dum Dum. He named her Dum Dum because of the common sense of the street knowledge. That was the way it was there. But I'm just being honest. And I've said this before, and I'm not making no jokes. It got it for me, I could not be with a person that's not easy on the eye, that could be the smartest person in the world. I couldn't do that. It gotta be something that attracts me. It gotta be some kind of beauty. Like you said, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It gotta be something that attracts me there. It gotta be a balance. I deal with balance in life. I think people should have some kind of coolness, some kind of swag. And that's where I said, I merged Richie Cunningham and Fonzie of Happy Days and merged it together. I merged Urkel and Stefan because I believe there's a balance. There's nothing wrong with being book smart, street smart. You understand what I'm saying? And bringing that balance. I love to be smart, but have some kind of street smarts and some kind of swag with myself. That's what I believe in. And that's what I believe in women. You got to have some intelligence. You got to have a personality. And damn, yeah, you got to bring some beauty to the table as well.
Okay. So brother Fatim, no. Elder, hold it. And that's for most, men. Jules Wall, who is a woman, made a very prominent woman statement because women look at things a little bit differently than men. And hold it, I have to stand with that with Jules, because that's why sometimes us men, and I know we do this, we sit down and go, how is he with her? How is he with her? Because they're looking for something we're not looking for. See, once again, we're looking for two different things. I'm just saying, Brother Fatim. Sister Jack, speak on that from a woman's point of view, please.
You know what? Sometimes with women, I've seen some gorgeous women with brothers. I'm like, God, dog. You know what I mean? But, I mean, rough on the eye. I don't get it. I don't understand it. You know, but at the same token, I do kind of get it, because sometimes women have been through so much with men, especially with some of the good-looking men that you know, think they're God's gift to the world, and everybody wants them, and they don't know how to be faithful. They're not always, you know, kind and all that kind of stuff. So they are just promiscuous and out of control. So some women are like, you know what? Especially those that are getting older, and get more mature and have wisdom, get to the point like, you know what? The looks, it doesn't matter as much to me. And some men, I've heard some, you know, really nice men say the same thing as they have gotten older, that looks don't mean as much as it did back in the day. Right now, a lot of men are saying they just want a woman to respect them, you know, submit to them, be kind, know how to cook, take care of a home, you know, have some kids and, you know, raise the kids well.
And then they got the pretty one on the side, Jax.
Yeah, it does. And sometimes they have the pretty one on the side. Yep, sometimes they have the pretty one on the side. So then even with the pretty one, if you know you on the side, where's your self-esteem at? If you're okay with being a pretty one on the side.
The guy ain't worried about that. But the guy ain't worried about that. Yeah, that's up to the woman.
Even for the pretty sisters, because it's a lot of pretty sisters with low ass self-esteem. You know what I'm saying? A lot of pretty sisters with low self-esteem. So they'll take whatever they can get whenever they can get it. And you got some other sisters with some super high self-esteem, you know, that can bag a nice looking brother sometimes, because she has the high self-esteem, she has the confidence, she has, you know, the kindness and the pizzazz. But then you have you know, like I said, sometimes you'll have men on the other hand that, you know, don't care so much about the looks, but it's how she treats the man. I mean, you know, how she treats him. So I don't know. It can kind of go both ways. You know, I've had some boyfriends in the past that weren't superstar looking boyfriends, but they still had something special. Because especially with women, as we age, we're looking for, you know, more security and somebody that's responsible. It's not all about the 6-pack, nice body, head full of hair, you know, funny, you know, all of that, you know, superficial stuff. It's about, like, do you go to work every day? Do you have a good work ethic? Are you nice? How do you treat your mama? If you know your mama, how do you treat your siblings? How do you treat me? Do you love God? Most importantly, what is your relationship with God? Do you believe in him? And are you following him? Like, what's up? It's so many other factors that go into it.
But and I hear what you're saying, because I'm not saying but to it. I'm not counting, because every time I'm not countering. I'm not going on the opposite. I'm not going on the but there's a thing here. Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you what it is. I look at where I'm at in my age. You understand what I'm saying? And I thank God and me, you know what I'm saying, for trying to keep this, you know, with the other, when you have health challenge, diabetes or hypertension or whatever. I still think, even in my relationship, even Hanifa was like, all right, Fatine, you eating that ice cream. Well, you eating cookies and cream, and you got vanilla brownies in this one, and you got the Entenmann's cake over here, you got Pop-Tarts. And I was comfortable at home. And next thing, I blew up to 300 pounds. Blew up to 300 pounds. Now, when I take my shirt off in front of her, I don't feel as comfortable. When we intimate, I'm sweating like a mule. So it comes a time when you get comfortable and you let yourself go. That's where the but come in, because you don't let yourself go because you get comfortable with somebody. You should not be sitting up there with a 8-month belly as a man because you sitting on the couch watching basketball, football. That's not healthy. The only fact that they see, they don't see you big. In fact, only thing is you sitting there with a basketball in your stomach. And I don't mean to be mean, but the reality is, to the brothers that are on here that has that, you need to do something about it, because I had it. It's not healthy. I have health challenges to the day because of bad eating, bad this, that, and the other. Even though I play softball, it's a different type of regimen. I was not doing the baseball type of exercise. So now, even though now, I still have to exercise and put in the work. You can't just let yourself go because we get older and we looking for some things like that, Jack. It's nothing wrong with put on a little bit of pounds, get a little fluffy here and there, but not to the point that you let yourself go, to the point that you don't groom yourself. You know, you don't groom yourself. You get a haircut because I'm going to Bobby's wedding. I haven't had a haircut in 6 months. You know, that don't make no sense.
That's right.
Come on now.
Yeah, you still, I mean, especially when you're married, you need to keep yourself up for your spouse. And
that part.
I mean, you need to at least do your best to smell good, have good hygiene, oral hygiene, right? Like you say, wash your hair, get a haircut. If you can't afford to get a haircut quite often, maybe get your own clippers and try to watch some YouTube videos on how to start to give yourself a little shape up, but take care of yourself. And I mean, most importantly, take care of your mental health. Mental health is so real, and people let it slide. We want to take care of our, diabetes, and take care of our, maybe of our heart condition or whatever. We'll go to the doctor for every other part of our body but our mind. And people don't realize that the lack of sleep, you want to hustle hard, you want to be out all night, you want to party, you want to just go to work and, do a bunch of different things. Eventually it will take a toll on you, and it will shut your body down. God knows how to shut you down when he needs to shut you down to get your attention. And that mental health, once that mental health gets messed up, that can definitely impede relationships and damage relationships. So it's not just about the physical, but because yes, we do need to keep ourselves up physically and look good for ourselves, our spouse, and for our health. But mentally, we have to be strong and superior mentally as well.
So with that being said, I want to give a quick compliment. Brother Fatim, I've been wanting to compliment you with this since the show started. Bro, I'm loving that Jamaican shirt you got on. I'm loving that. I'm loving that. And since you were talking about basketball bellies, where my Boston Celtics fans at? Because y'all headed to the NBA Finals. And I believe it's going to be against them Dallas Mavericks. And I ain't going to say nothing because I don't know who going to win this thing. I don't know who going to. And I'm in Texas right now, and it's still hot as Hades in Texas. But I'm telling you something, it's going to be an NBA Finals to remember. I can tell you that. Listen, good morning to everybody who's in the chat. I see my girl Yoke in the chat. I see my man Michael Keefe in the chat. I see, of course, Jules Wallace in the chat. Let me go back to the chat. I'm trying to click on all kind of stuff here. Dre is in the chat. Barbara's in the chat. Hey, good morning to everybody in the chat. And since I pulled it up, good morning to everybody who's all over the world broadcasting. I see you in Japan. I see you in Germany. I see you in South Africa. I see you in Canada. I see you in Mexico. Listen, welcome to hashtag Truth Be Told. We are broadcasting live on Facebook Live, on YouTube Live, and on the Gram. We on Instagram. So welcome. It is Tell the Truth Tuesday, and we getting into this good conversation. It's 2 minutes past the top of the hour, and let's keep it flowing and going. Let's go.
Yes. And you guys mentioned basketball. You know that Hall of Fame basketball player and broadcaster just died. He was 71 years old.
Bill Walton.
Yeah.
Bill Walton. He played for the Portland Trail Blazers.
Yeah.
Bill Walton. He passed at 71 years old. And you thank you for that, Sister Jax. He passed at 71 years old. He became a great sports commentator as well,
Yes.
you know. And matter of fact, I don't have it in front of me because I didn't do this. I'm trying to remember. I forgot what team he was playing with, but I believe Portland at the time, the Trailblazers was the underdog when they went to that championship, and Bill Walton led them to the championship. And he was and he was a tremendous guy. I never met Bill Walton out there, but a tremendous guy. And thank you for bringing this up there. I want to shout out two of my cousins. I'm taking a chance. They may get mad at me, but if they listen to me, they'll understand. I'm going to put I'll just say their first names. I'll just say that. My cousin, and they like my sisters too, Debbie and Julie. They're like my sisters, and shout out to my cousin Julie, who celebrated her birthday this past Saturday. I like, you know, we as a family, we talk, but we're honest. We're honest through being funny. If you notice, comedians tell the truth through comedy. If you notice that. So we'll get together and we were taking pictures, and I remember my cousin Julie was like, let me get behind you. It's like, why you got to get behind me? I don't need them to see all this here on me, you know. And it was funny till one day we were just sitting around and they decided to do something about it. They realized we laughed about it, but they didn't like it. And now when they walk in, and I'm going to tell y'all this, Debbie goes to the gym. Julie decided to work out in her backyard. And for me, they changed their diet, they changed their regimen, and within, I'll give them 3 months. I think it was shorter. When my cousin came in there with like a sports outfit on, like a workout outfit, I was like, oh my God, both of them. We were together last night, looking tremendous. You can do it, and it doesn't take a year for you to get yourself together. That's why I
ring the bell. Ring the bell.
That's the truth.
It doesn't take that much to do. I'm be honest with you. I just came up the stairs last night. I was like, yo, I need to go to this gym. I've been paying for a membership for 2.5 years down here. And I have not been in that gym one time. So even though I have not been in that gym one time, that's why I told Sister Jack, you gotta give me that wake up call. But I said to myself, 15, you need to get up and before the podcast and get out there and work. Because for me, my metabolism worked better when I do everything in the morning. So then everything trickles down. And you won't believe how your body goes on schedule, even to go, I hate to bring it up, but this is life, bowel movements and everything. Gets on schedule. You eat more, I get more bran with Raisin Bran and this, that, and the other. When you're 24, you ain't thinking. Me and Jax was talking about that, the other day. That's why the older and the younger don't really mix, because the younger ain't thinking about those kind of things. At the end of the day, when you're older, you think it'll different. But I'm serious that you got the bike ride or do whatever makes you, whatever you enjoy, but make it fun. And if you can find a partner to work out, it even gets better. If you can find out a workout partner, sometimes it's being the opposite sex. It really works. It really works because you encourage. You want to look good. You understand? You laugh, Joe, but I heard this philosophy a long time ago from somebody in the music business. He said in the music video, he was doing a music video. He said, "I got nothing but young dancers because for me to learn these moves, I'm trying to show off." And when me and Hanifa worked out with the neighbors that worked in videos, I had 2 young ladies in videos on my block, music videos. And we went to work out with them. Hanifa looked over at me. I know you. She said they didn't work to me. But she said it worked for me, but she said it worked for her because she was like, I'm not going to let these younger sisters outshine me in front of 15.
Oh, that's right.
And we were all family on the block. See, that's what I'm saying, mentality. So that's why I said sometimes when you go with the opposite sex, just for you females, you go with that brother, he's doing this, it helps motivate you if that works for you.
That's right. And it's about discipline. My husband and I were having the same conversation yesterday because I'm like, oh my God, I could master so many different things, but the weight loss journey has always been like a struggle for me, right? So it's just a matter of being disciplined. Like I know how to lose weight. You eat right, you exercise. It's really not that complicated. Like you don't need any pills, you don't need any special shakes, you don't need all this extra stuff. Just eat right and exercise and be disciplined and be consistent with it. So for me, my issue is consistency. I can be consistent with a lot of other stuff, but that area of my life, I'm not so consistent. So my cousin, big ups to Kenny Williams, Sergeant Kenny Williams. He actually just won another bodybuilding competition. Two of them recently. He placed, first and third in a bunch of different areas. And so he finally sent me a workout routine. So he sent it to me over the weekend. So I want to try to really embark on it today. And it's funny, Fatin, you said, you waiting on that wake up call. Shoot, I'm waiting for my own damn wake up call to wake myself up to get up and go to the gym. But
Wake
it's
up.
possible. Yeah, wake up. So sometimes
Yeah.
before our podcast, I will go downstairs, get on my bike, ride a little bit. Just a couple of miles before the podcast. I also took downstairs my dumbbells and my kettlebell. So I need to start doing that. But like you said, you pay this money for a membership that you don't use.
Mm,
And now that my
mm.
son is home, I'm so excited because Xavier likes to, like work out and have fun. He's always been my little coach, even when he was 4 years old, to try to help me, get in shape. And so my kids will laugh. They're like, "Mom, you ain't fat and sloppy. You just a little big, but
A
you
little
ain't like."
fluffy, a little
Yeah,
fluff,
yeah,
fluff. I
yep.
call you fluff.
Exactly,
Oh
exactly.
Lord.
Yep.
Fluff.
So when I filed for divorce several years ago, I lost weight like immediately. Not from stress. I was just eating right, working out, like I'm getting my life together, whatever, right? So now I need to like kick it back up again to another notch and get my life together. So I'm hoping to lose maybe like 10 pounds over the next couple of weeks and then just do it in increments. Because when I was saying I want to lose 40 pounds, it sounds like a little overwhelming. So how do you eat a whale? Bite by bite. So let me just,
Right.
check off 5 pounds here, 5 pounds there, 5 pounds there, and be
I
consistent with it.
wouldn't use
Because
a
for me,
whale
I'm
as an
not,
example.
I know
I wouldn't use a
that.
whale as an example, but that's another
Yeah,
story.
yeah. Listen,
Shut up,
listen.
Fatigue. Ain't nobody asked you all
Hey,
that.
hey,
You
hey,
not using
Jax,
a whale.
Jax.
Yeah, whale.
Just come on, just come on down here to Hades. Let's come
Okay,
on
I
down here to
know.
Hades. It's
100%.
really a state they call Texas.
Is she reading
But
the
come
good
on.
book and she's going down to
Oh, oh, oh,
Hades?
oh. Yeah,
Okay.
no, please. No. That's what
Okay.
I'm calling. That's what I'm calling Texas and Louisiana right now. Come on down to Hades. Walk around the block a couple of. Cause listen, between the heat
Sheesh.
and these pterodactyl mosquitoes, there were some
Lord.
pterodactyl mosquitoes out this morning. They were straight
Dang.
pterodactyl mosquitoes. I was like, wait a minute.
Okay.
Is this a
Oh,
bird
Lord.
flying toward me? No,
Yeah.
it's a mosquito.
Are
It's
you serious?
it's a
Yeah, I don't want none of
mosquito.
that.
No,
Let
Legs
me.
okay, I'm just
dragging,
saying.
legs dragging
Yeah.
the sidewalk.
I want to give first of all, let me go back to something, Joe, because I didn't properly do it. Anybody that
Come on.
takes the moment to compliment me on something, I thank you for that about the shirt. And I think Sister Jewel also complimented me on the shirt. And I just want to say, I have another Jamaica shirt. It's a yellow and green. I might wear it tomorrow or this week. And I purchased these two shirts along with a couple of other shirts that you where they talk about inhale the good stuff and exhale whatever the
Right,
BS.
right.
I purchased all of these out of Montego Bay in Jamaica. So this is from Jamaica. This is not made here
Yeah,
in
man.
the United States.
Yeah,
This is
man.
made in Jamaica.
Yeah,
I purchased
man.
this in Jamaica.
Yeah,
Yes, I
man.
did.
That's
So
right.
thank you, Joe. Thank you, Jewel, and everybody that made a comment about it. Thank you. I really
One,
do.
Brother
one day we're gonna
15.
be
Brother 15.
podcasting live from Jamaica. I'm claiming that
Right.
one.
Hey. We got New Orleans, Jamaica's own. We gonna be live from Italy. We gonna be out live
Okay.
from Germany, Japan. We claiming it. We gonna be worldwide. Brother Fatim, got a question for you. Don't we have a guest coming on Friday, man? Tell us a little bit right now on this Tell the Truth Tuesday. I heard that we got a guest might be coming on Friday. We need to be talking about this now because we need folks to be plugged in because Freedom and Fun Friday will probably set your mind free for real. Come on, give me a
That's
little
right.
something. Talk to me now. Talk to me.
Let me just say this. I've never said this to her, and I probably won't say this to her. She's easy on the eyes. This is a beautiful sister. I never
She
forgot
is.
she is such a beautiful sister. And when I talk about a beautiful sister, she's beautiful. All the package, the whole package there.
Mhm.
And her name is Dr. Chris Purnell. Sister Jax knows her. She used to work out at University Hospital in Newark, New Jersey. And now she's moved on to do some great things. I got a chance to meet her during the pandemic. And I've spoken with numerous doctors across the country, but Dr. Chris Purnell was one of the top doctors, and just her approach, her consciousness, and her beauty. And that's what I always say to our brothers out there. You know, you want to talk to these beautiful women, but you can't hold a glass of water to them. You understand? Mm-hmm. And I just love her. I might have said she's with something that she may be wearing, or I'll say that she's attractive. Same way I treat you, Sister Jax. I treat Dr. Chris Purnell at the end of the day. I remember she talked a little bit about, and we could talk a little bit more about it, where she lost her father during COVID. And, and then being a doctor and treating people with COVID and stuff like that. And then she got it. So you'll get a chance to hear her story. She's scheduled to come on this Friday, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central Time, to talk with us on the things that she's doing and talk about Black health. And you'll see this sister brings the noise. And she is just such I hate to say something about articulate, but she's able to deliver the message where you understand it of health, but she also understands the challenges through racism in health, even through her journey. Because I've seen her, she did a piece, I think it was on Good Morning America, with another doctor, with those doctors, Black doctors that have stood up against racist tactics and racist people in these hospitals come under attack, and they have lost their jobs. You understand? So she'll get a chance to fill you in on all of this. So she is scheduled to be on with us this Friday. So Dr. Chris Purnell, we're looking forward to having you on this broadcast this coming Friday.
Yes, Dr. Chris is a phenomenal woman. I mean, you spoke about COVID. Right before COVID was really known, I had gotten really, really sick and didn't know, nobody even knew anything about COVID. And I had gotten really sick and I didn't know what was going on. And I was sick for about 2 months straight. And it got to the point one day, I'm like, yo, I can't breathe. I don't know why I can't breathe, but I can't breathe. And so I found like an old asthma pump from when I was hospitalized years ago, because I had an allergic reaction to a cat, and it triggered me to develop asthma, apparently. So I found that old asthma pump. So I'm on Facebook, posting, oh my God, like asking my friends, like, what should I do? Should I take this old ass expired asthma pump? Or like what do I do? I think maybe we just started to know a little bit about COVID, but we didn't really know much about it at all. So immediately Dr. Chris hit me up, and she told me exactly what to do. And I'm like, thank you, Jesus, my sister. But she's a beautiful sister. I just saw her a few months ago at an event. I think we were both, I don't know if we were being honored or we had to speak at an event or something. And we were talking about our natural hair, because Dr. Chris is on the natural hair journey as well. And her hair is just thick and full and luscious and beautiful. And she is, like Brother Fatin said, she's tall, slim, in shape, just a beautiful person. I've been to her, I've been to her brother's church before and visited with, Dupre Kelly. And it's just been like an amazing experience knowing Dr. Chris, and she's just beautiful. I know I can hit her up at any point. She knows my daughter. She's spoken to Olivia about the medical field. And I mean, Dr. Chris is just phenomenal. So it's going to be great conversation. She's witty, she's funny, she's classy, and embodies the true essence of a woman, and a woman that loves God. So we can't wait to see you, Dr. Chris.
Yeah.
On Friday.
And a woman like that, to have both of you women on here, and I've said this before, women like that make us brothers walk straight and stand up right. You understand what I'm saying? It's just that once something about it, because sometimes you can get that type of woman in your life and you'll stay on that straight and narrow. But Sister Jax, and it's not about that. I'm gonna sway away from Dr. Chris because I don't want her to be part of this. But when you do get that, sometimes our mind, because we were talking about this the other day about our mind and the distractions and the ego, what we want, and then once we get it, we get tired of it. Just like we got that new toy back in the day. I used to want this for the holiday, get this and the Slinky. I get tired of this damn Slinky going down these stairs over it. First of all, I had a hard time getting to walk down the damn stairs like on the TV commercial back in the day as a kid. You understand what I'm saying? I got tired of doing Rubik's Cube. You know what I'm saying? I got tired of pivot pool. I'm really telling I got tired of electric football. I got tired of my AFX car racing set. So that's how the mind. So the same thing when we get that precious jewel of a woman in our life, sometimes we let our mind still to the point. And that's why when it's about life, it's about always creating and not being still, because a still mind become a wandering mind. So I
That's
just
right.
want
And
to
it's
say that.
and that's very dangerous. That's very dangerous.
Yes.
So brothers need to recognize when they do get a good solid woman that loves God and seeks to please him, things can work out, for the good. And it's
Amen.
not going to be easy because she's going to challenge you. And same thing with the woman. When you get a good man that loves God and is doing everything in his power to follow his laws and treat you well, and if you have children, that treat your children well, you got to love on that man and appreciate him and respect him, even when times get rough. You can't give up. You can't just throw in the towel, because there are going to be challenges, because a good man is going to challenge you to do better and be better, and a good woman is going to challenge you to do better and be better. So
Mm,
watch what you pray for. If you're not ready
mm.
to try to build and grow and become a better person, don't go seeking out a good man or a good woman and just try to break them down and mess them all up. Get ready to work. Get ready to
And,
work.
and let me just say this to Sister Jack. She's been helping me with something. And it's amazing. And me and Sister Jackson talk about it offline. But sometimes we wrestle with something and we don't understand it until we say it. And when we say it, sometimes you see the potential in a person, but that person is not for you. But you gravitate to that because that's what you look for in life. You love to be energized with someone that just has that raw energy and that talent. And you got to realize that's us that are growing older, that, I lost somebody that had that. So you yearn for that. So when you come across that, and if you come across it with somebody that's on your peer level, it's beautiful. But what happens if you come across it on a peer level that's younger, that you can't put that together, but you're trying to convey that? And me and Sister Jax talked about it yesterday, last night briefly. And, once I was able to convey that to the person, I felt better, because it said what I was trying to say, but the emotional part it was embodied in me, but I needed to say that to the person. And Sister Jax came behind me and broke it down, and really broke it down there. So at times we yearn for something. A lot of people yearn for something that they didn't even have. I had that with Hanifa for 32 years. And so I yearned that, but I also know that I was a blessing to have that. I may not get that. I'm not going to get it in the same way. Can it be something that comes down the road that be better? It can be. It can be. But when we tap into that energy at times, we yearn that. And that's why you have to not be confused by it, because if you're confused by it and you let your emotions take over, then sometimes you make bad choices.
Mm-hmm. You're right. I
That's
mean, it's so true. It's nothing wrong with having emotions, but sometimes when we get so emotional over stuff, that's when the issue, comes to play. We're supposed to have emotions, just like we're supposed to have tear ducts. If God didn't want us to have tear ducts, He wouldn't have put them in the corners of our eyes. He put them there for men and for women. So we're supposed to utilize those tear ducts to clean our eyes, to cleanse our souls. And a lot of people don't realize that. So we just have to, have patience, have faith, and just put in the work, and try to really just focus on introspection and stepping back and looking internally, because quite often we look externally for the cues and the answers, but the cues and the answers are all internal, pretty much. And when we try to fight against it and have that internal struggle, that turns into an external struggle, when really the fight is within us.
so, family. I don't know, where did Brother Fatim go? Well, look, it is 21 minutes past the hour, and once again, welcome to hashtag Truth Be Told. Hopefully, Brother Fatim will be back in a few minutes. Uh,
Hmm.
it is it is the 28th day of May, and family, all I can say is, whoo, get ready, get ready, get ready. June is coming, July is coming, and before you know it, the summer will be over, and we'll be back in August, and we'll be talking school and everything else. But listen, as the summer months is coming, it looks like it's gonna be hot around here. I don't know
Hot.
how it's gonna be in your neck of the woods, but it looks like it's
It's
gonna be
spring.
hot around here. Where is Brother Fati? See, I'm on. Let
I
me
don't know.
add Brother. See there?
Okay. Yeah,
I'm
I
on.
mean, and I heard that on the news today. It was hailing in some places, golf ball size hail, and triple digit
Mm-hmm.
heat. And I mean, like we just straight up skipped from winter and going straight to summer, the hot as hell summer. So I look forward to it. I love the heat. I love the heat. I love the hotness. I love the feeling the sun, glowing on my skin. I absolutely love the outdoors and the sun and the beach especially. I love the water. I love grounding, or they call it earthing. It drives my husband crazy because he doesn't really believe in all of that, too much. But
Okay.
yeah, but when you ground, like I always tell people, our bodies are positively charged, right? The ground is negatively charged. So physiologically, like when you step onto the ground with your bare feet, there's an energy exchange. There's a surge that occurs. It's just like almost
Right.
being plugged into an outlet, and then when you have that energy exchange, it helps to reduce the free radicals in your body, which cause cancer. And
Mm.
just connecting to the earth helps to reduce your blood pressure, lowers your blood pressure, helps you to
Come
sleep
on
better.
now.
When you think about little kids running around outside in the summertime down south or wherever it is, they're exhausted by the end of the day because they're running around barefoot, and their body is releasing all those toxins that need to
Right.
be released, and those cells are regenerating even that much faster. So if you're now, granted, if you have diabetes or other medical conditions, you have to be careful about walking around barefoot. And I'm not saying go to Walmart, walk to your car barefoot, all of this and that, but if you have a little patch of grass that you can sit on or lay on for 15-20 minutes a day, or if you can get down to the beach, or even if you just garden, if you want to keep your shoes on, but if you want to garden and play around in the soil, plant some trees, plant some herbs or fruits and vegetables, that also helps too, because that transference can still come through your hands as well, and it will greater impact your body. So definitely do some
That's what.
research, look into it, but there are health benefits from it.
That's
Go
what
ahead,
I'm
Joe.
talking about. Now I don't know what brother Fatim is. But Fatim, what are you doing? What are you doing? So
Where you
look,
at, brother
see that
Fatima?
his mouth moving, ain't no sound coming out. See, something done went down. Something done went down. Something. See there?
Wait,
See
he got the
there?
glasses. He
Mm-hmm.
got the Strowman 4
Look
glasses
at
on.
look. He got that. Yeah. Look at him. Look at him. We'll
We
bring you
see you.
back in a few minutes, man. We
Yeah,
can't even hear you, brother. Uh-huh.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
See there?
Look,
See there?
as long as we don't see no
Uh-huh.
bottle of lotion on deck, we good, Joe. As long as we don't see
Right.
no bottle of lotion on deck, we good. We safe. We don't need to
Woo.
see all of that.
So hold
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
Now you're back here. You got
Can you
something to
hear
say,
me?
brother Fatim? We can
Can
hear
you
you
hear me?
now. We can hear you now.
So
What happened?
we lost power.
Uh-oh.
Oh wow.
South Kakalaki lost power.
I
Oh,
don't know what
jeez.
happened, but I mean, it's out. My clock, my Michael, everything is dark here. I can't turn the light on or nothing like that.
Oh, Lord.
Oh wow.
See?
Yeah,
That's like the earth.
Okay.
So we didn't have, hold it. We didn't have the power outage. We didn't have the earthquake. Bro, hey, y'all better tune in on hashtag truth be told. You never know what's going to be going down. We done
That's
had the
right.
shaking. Now we
Yep.
done
Joe
got
riding
turned off
across
the
on Aries
lights.
and carrying on.
Come
Yep.
on now. Come on,
Yes.
this is
family.
crazy. This is gonna try. I gotta try to connect to my hotspot to do Reverend Al Sharp's rundown
Oh
now after
no.
the show
Wow.
because I have look. I can go to my cousins. I just don't know how widespread this is right now because we don't have bad weather here and it's not that hot here unless our building lost power. You know what I'm saying? So
Well,
Gotcha.
here's when I see situations like that sporadically happen, I pray that somebody hasn't had a bad accident and hit a
Yeah.
phone line and
mhm.
has knocked down a transformer. That is what normally happens when it's a beautiful day and ain't nothing going on. It's normally somebody has had a terrible accident and hit a pole that hit a transformer that just naturally just knocked everything out. And we pray that that's not the case. We just pray that maybe there was a major circuit or something that got overloaded and just got blown out from whatever. But we pray no
Yeah. Yeah.
tragedy is the reason that you lost power, brother.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So Joe, do you know how Brother Gidry? I can't see in the chat right now, but do you know how Brother Gidry is doing? I'm still so in awe of what he did for that young lady. I guess it was last week, who was
Well,
potentially about to be sex trafficked.
oh,
And he stepped in.
he's doing great. Brother Gitry does a lot in the community of Lafayette, Louisiana. He's getting
Okay.
ready for a big Juneteenth celebration and a pageant that they're going to be doing. We're going to talk about that coming up in some of the future shows. We're going to bring him on to talk about that. He wants to talk about politics. I do too, somewhat. And I was waiting for Brother Fatim, but then he just jumped off like that because of the power outage. So it is 27 minutes past the hour. And yeah, we got to get into a little politics conversation because the election is coming up. November will be here before you know it. You need to get engaged, get involved, get registered, and get ready to go vote. Last night I saw a great special with Joy Reid and Rachel Maddow, where they were talking about Joy. Joy has wrote this great book about Medgar Evers. And listen, family, what you're seeing today with the tactics that are being used by certain political factions, they're not new. There's nothing new underneath the sun. So get informed, get engaged, get involved, and go vote. Because listen, family, you're choosing between Zombieland and the flu, and you're going to have to make some choices.
That's
Brother
right.
Fatim.
That's right.
Let me just
Go ahead.
I'm just going to say that Joy Reid, when her book was about to come out that Tuesday, we had her on the Open Line online show. And the reason why, Rachel Maddow has been teaming up with Joy Reid, and they've been going up to the Apollo in Harlem on 125th Street to talk about her book. And so she came on Open Line. She talked about what motivated her book, about the life of both Medgar Evers and his wife, Myrlie Evers, as well. A very fascinating book. Joy did some in-depth research. He went back to where Medgar lived, him and his wife, and there were still people in that block that they lived on that knew them. And she got a chance to speak with them. I purchased the book. I didn't ask Joy to send me a free copy. I want to support the sister because I've known Joy when she was into radio before she even got into television. It's a great book. And you really need to know Medgar Evers. He was a brother that was really involved doing the civil rights movement, of course. He was there with Emmett Till's mother. And of course, his life is very, very parallel to Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. So if you get a chance to pick up Joy, and it's Joy Ann Reid, if you go out there and Google it or look at it on Amazon.com, it's a great book. Please pick it up.
And let me give you an unknown fact about Medgar Evers. He is a HBCU graduate from the Alcorn State in Lorman, Mississippi. So he is an Alcorn State Brave, and another great person who graduated from Alcorn State is none other than Heisman Trophy candidate and deceased NFL player Steve McNair.
Get the bell on that. Get the bell.
Oh yeah,
Jack,
yeah.
you was getting ready to say something, Jack. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well,
go ahead,
yeah,
Jack.
I was going to say also, speaking of politics, we have an amazing, amazing guest coming on tomorrow as well. So make sure you guys tune in, viewers. Her name is Shana Mack. She's actually running for Congress. As I shared before, Congressman Donald Payne Jr. Passed away recently, and Shana worked directly for Donald Payne Jr. And now she is going to run to fill his seat in Congress. So there are a lot of other people who are also running and vying for that particular seat. So we'll have Shana come on, and Shana's done a lot of stuff in the entertainment industry. She's a powerhouse of a woman. She's done a lot of stuff in the community, New York, New Jersey, all around the country, all over the world. So tune in tomorrow for Shana Mack. She's a dope sister. It's going to be a great conversation for sure. She'll be on 9:30 tomorrow Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, family, it's about to go. Brother Fatim looking, Brother Fatim, hey, listen, now this might sound crazy.
Witness protection program.
Hold on. This might sound crazy. There is a movie coming out called A Quiet Place, Day One. I'm just this type guy, this might sound crazy. It's just that I'm like, something like this could really possibly happen. So, when I start seeing lights go out, things go, first thing I go into red alert mode, like, okay, hopefully everything is really good in the area, because you never know. And then you start thinking, well, man, hopefully something globally ain't going on, because you never know what could be happening. So I'm just saying, go to the movies, Quiet Place, Day One. You might want to see it. It's going to be a great movie. I'm just saying. It's got some great people in it, Brother Fatim?
I know we got Fatim sitting there like he's in a witness protection program.
I gotta go. I can move around. I go buy some damn light here. Let me get by some.
Come on.
This is crazy.
Now look, somebody, you know some old janky person. We're gonna call him what we call him in the country. Some old janky person somewhere going, now you know Brother Fatim ain't paid the light bill. Uncle Charlie be
Yeah,
like,
right.
now, bro, Fatim, did you pay your light bill? You know them good old melanated, non-melanated folk want their light bill money.
I gotta be the brunt of the jokes now. I ain't got no. I tell you.
Oh man,
I tell you.
well, Lord's will for teen that your electricity is restored sooner than later.
Yeah,
I don't want all that
cause
good
it
food
get
and
it
the
hot.
freezer going bad.
Right.
That's right.
Yep.
I got a cousin. I got a cousin down here with 3 bedrooms. I got another cousin with 5. I'm good.
Amen. That's what's up. That's what's up.
That's it.
But so what else
Well,
you
that's
guys
what
got
I'm
going
talking
on
about.
today? What else y'all got going on today?
Brother
Anything
Fatim,
good?
talk to me.
What else you got going
I'm
on
gonna tell
today?
you what. Because I can hang on here, but what I'm gonna do is I want to look into it, and I can't search anything without
Yeah,
searching
that's
on my
best.
phone. So I'm gonna drop off for a few minutes, and if I'm
Okay,
not
and
back,
you'll be
I just
back.
want to look into see what's going on, because you just
Absolutely.
never know what's happening. So I'll let y'all 2 roll, and I'm gonna drop off for now. Okay.
Okay, sounds
Okay.
good. Take care of your business.
All right, brother.
Yep.
Be careful. We'll see you when you get back. So it's the road show. We both on the road. So Sister Jax,
On.
I see you in your vehicle in Brick City. You rolling. Why you rolling
Yeah.
to today?
You know what? I actually have to, in a few, I have to go back and grab my son, get him to an orthodontist appointment. Then I have a meeting that I have to go shortly after that. It was a grant. I just signed another contract for another series of workshops that I have to do, but they're applying for another grant. So they need my supports in
All right, come
helping them
on.
to clearly identify that grant. And they need some of, my data that I do with art therapy and some other therapeutic information to insert into it. So I have a meeting doing that today. And then got to grab my daughter later on, and she has a meeting at the golf course because the country club that she was working at, where they were undergoing a major renovation. So she was then placed as a caddy at another country club, but now her original country club is opening back up. So they're doing the walkthrough, and she has a big meeting there tonight at 6 that she's super excited about. So I'm doing business duties, wifely duties, and mommy duties. So doing what I do always, keep it moving.
I feel you. Well, I'm rolling
Yeah.
through the great state of Texas, in Port Arthur, Texas. Just left out of Houston. It was hotter than Hades last night in Houston. And I'm in Port Arthur right now, headed toward Beaumont, getting ready to make my way back into Louisiana. We will be live in studio tomorrow. And as Sister Jack said, we will have one of the individuals who is asking support to get in office and help further the agenda for the betterment of our people. Many a times we have to definitely get out, get engaged, get involved, and go vote, because you got to have folks who are concerned about the greater good of you and your agenda items. Because if not, the folks who will get in office will definitely forget about you, and you will be out there on an island, lost, disgusted, busted, and truly can't be trusted. I'm saying.
That's right. That's right. And I know the sister that's coming on tomorrow, I know personally, I've done toy drives with her. She's supported the city of Newark, New York, everywhere else in between. I've done toy drives with her. I've done Thanksgiving events with her. I've been with her in New York City where she's done some other amazing events for the community. So this sister is really about her people and truly, truly about the community. And that's what it's about. So for all of us, even if we're not running for Congress or a public office, there's still something that you can do in your community. Even if you decide to do a block cleanup, start with your own block. Start with even cleaning in front of your house or your neighborhood. Try to grab a couple other little people or children, and get them involved to help try to clean up and to make our community a better place. It takes each person to do something. Just one little thing can make a huge difference.
So as we get into the summer months, one of the things I want to talk about, and I wanted Brother Fatim to be here to talk about it because Brother Fatim is very passionate about this. In the area I live in, there's a lot of what we call curfews, times of night that your child should not be out and about in the city by themselves. Now, I know they have that in Brick City, and some folks like it, some folks don't. At the end of the day, I do say this, there is a lot of crime going on. And you don't want to be GBA guilty by association. Because once again, I know your husband works in law enforcement. I work in law enforcement. And I can honestly say many a times when a crime is committed, you're looking for an individual that fits the description of the assailant, of the person who committed the crime. So mind you, if the person who committed the crime is dressed in all black with a ski mask on their head, and you're walking around at 2 o'clock in the morning dressed in all black with a ski mask on your head, and you didn't commit the crime, you may be definitely confronted and asked some questions because you fit the profile of the individual who did. The best way to avoid that is why are you walking around at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning when you should be at home, especially if you're 15, 16, 14, 15, or 16 years old. So, what I would say is parents and those who are listening, be mentors to these children and tell them that there are ways that they can get in trouble by just being guilty by association. And we really need to bring on not only your husband, but I need to bring on some law enforcement officers to speak about what do you do when you're confronted in the wee hours of the night by law enforcement. One thing you don't do is run.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
We're actually doing a workshop on Thursday for it's a youth a men's conference for young men actually. And so my husband always does his workshop, what to do when being stopped by the police. So I support him with that. And then he does role playing and a bunch of other stuff. It's powerful. And, if anybody has an organization, whether it be a church, a school, a business, or you want to create your own, event, let us know and we'll come in. I focus on the emotional intelligence component of it. He focuses on the legal aspects of what to do when being stopped by the police. You guys can always hit me up. Go to my website, JaxLake, JaxLake.com, or you can hit me up on Instagram at Skills for the Soul, SKILLSFOR the SOUL, Skills for the Soul, or JaxLake.com, or send me an email at IamJaxLake@gmail.com. And we would love to come to support you in that because it's necessary. We have to help save these children and adults' lives, save our people's lives by giving them the tools that they need. Like I was telling my daughter recently, she was talking about she was talking about one of her best friend's brother, how he's been getting more into trouble now. And for years, he's been slowly starting to, get in trouble since the 4th grade, basically. And now he's maybe in the 9th grade. And so I said, Liv, look, if you use the car to go pick your friend up, if he runs outside like, yo, Olivia, can you just drop me off down the street real quick? It's on the way to where you girls are going. I said, don't do it. Because if this little boy is starting to do things that are unsavory, God forbid he has some weed on him or a gun or anything on him. If he has it on him and you just so happen to get pulled over, guess what, Liv? You're the one driving the car. You are going to be held responsible for it as well. And I even told my daughter, I said, guess what? You and Xavier, siblings, sometimes they have little spats and little fights or whatever. Sometimes she tends to think that she's still the big sister, even though she's older, but she's like a little sister because he's like daggone 2 feet taller than her now, basically. And I'm like, Liv, you can't try to tussle and wrestle on him like you used to, And I said, if you guys get into a disagreement and you try to come at him, if you playing around, hit him the wrong way and you're mad, I said, you realize that you're about to be 18. You're about to be 18, and guess what? You could get charged. I mean, and it's not like they're fighting to kill each other, nothing like that. But just things can go the wrong way. Like you could still get charged maybe with assault or, whatever. And so I let her know, just because you're about to be 18, it's not just a number like, oh, I'm legal. There's responsibilities that go along with that. Because guess what? You give that little boy a ride and it's something in your car. Guess what? Your ass can go to jail, the adult jail, not the little
come on.
Center,
Come on. So speaking. Yeah. And speaking about that, it's 19 minutes to the top of the hour. And I want to speak about this. Last week, tragically, there was an individual who was playing with a gun, or better yet, just dealing with their gun unsafely, and it discharged and killed another individual. We got to start talking about gun safety, proper storage of guns, and not just laying our guns around just where anybody can pick them up and deal with the guns. Guns should be, and we really got to talk about this because especially here in the South in Louisiana, because starting on July the 4th, we'll have a new open carry law, a concealed carry law, that all you have to do is be 18 and legally able to purchase a gun, and you can conceal carry your weapon. People need to understand gun safety, weapon safety. Understand that just because you can purchase a gun and have a gun, you need to know how to operate the gun. You need to know how to load the gun, how to unload the gun, where to properly store the gun. And you need to do this in a manner where the youth won't get their hands on the gun, because now you will be responsible for that weapon you purchased if some young kid that's in your house gets that gun and causes some type of crime with that gun. So we definitely need to have some conversation. Gun safety needs to be big in the summertime, needs to be big all the time. Brother Gentry just put in there, we need to talk about some self-defense classes for these women.
Yes.
And after what he had with this attempted sex trafficking or abduction of a woman, yes, definitely. We have to have those type conversations. And as the summertime comes, as you know, the hotter it gets, seems to be all of a sudden crime changes and crime numbers go up. You know, let's be safe. Let's be vigilant. Let us know what's going on in our surroundings. You know, a lot of folks, there's summer festivals, there's things going on. You're going to be out and about. Come on, pay attention to where you're at and what's going on around you.
That's right. And also, Joe, I want to add to that, parents, make sure you try to find something positive for your children to do in the summer. Just try to find an activity, a summer camp, whatever it is. Don't just let them be babysat the entire summer by playing with their cell phones or any electronic devices or the PS5s. Talk to them about cyber safety. Don't allow them to just be online chatting with people from overseas that they think might be a little 13-year-old boy, but really it's a 50-year-old man, chatting with them. We have to talk to our kids about that safety. Also, be careful who you let in your home. Be careful who you let around your children. Sometimes parents be like, oh, it's the summertime, I'm sending my kids down south to be with their grandpa for the summer. But guess what? Grandpa's best friend been touching kids since the damn 50s, and now he's old as hell and can't wait to touch on your little doggone kid, So definitely talk to your children about safety, about sex, about good touch, bad touch. Don't use all those baby names, your pee-pee, your tang-tang, whatever you want to call it. No, it's your vagina and it's your penis, and let them know nobody's to touch it. You don't touch nobody is to touch yours. Call it what it is and have real talk with your kids. Enough of this baby stuff, because there are so many people, and I deal with them all the time doing coaching and workshops, adults that have been molested. Little girls, little boys that have been molested, grown men that have been molested. It has to stop. But we can't keep sweeping everything under the rug and not having these serious conversations. And God forbid somebody did that to you, there's still help. It's not too late. You can still go for help. You can talk to someone about it. If you need to schedule a coaching session with me, you can do that through my website as well, jackslake.com. But go somewhere where you can get either life coaching with me or go to a therapist as well, a psychotherapist, a psychologist, psychiatrist, whatever you got to do. Go and get the help that you need, because there is help out there. But protect your children. We have to stop repeating this cycle of abuse. And we got to do better. Like Joe always says, we have to do better and protect our babies, because they are hurting. And a lot of the hurting that our babies are experiencing is hurt that we could have prevented if we were more vigilant and had open conversations.
Come on. And we got and Jax, you're so right. It is 14 minutes to the top of the hour. And as the summer months come in, the kids are out of school. The kids are more often at home. The parents have to work. I can remember as a youth back in the 80s, when parents were gone to work, you're sneaking over to so-and-so's house. We've got to have these uncomfortable conversations. You got to talk about, like you said, you got to be careful who you're letting in your house. You got to tell your kids, they got to be careful who they're letting in the house. You might have the bad kid go into the good kid's house. The bad kid sees all the stuff in the good kid's house. And all of a sudden you're wondering why your house is getting robbed. Well, it's getting robbed because your kid has let their friends in the house and they're mad and jealous and envious of all the stuff you have in the house. And they're like, This is a good place for us to break into and take A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You know, come on, family.
That's right.
When I say we got to do better, I mean it. We got to do
Yeah.
better,
Yeah.
and we got to position ourselves to have these uncomfortable conversations that are preventative from things happening. We've got to be more proactive than we are reactive. You know,
That's
I'm
right.
sick and tired of every time somebody gets shot, we're having vigils, we're having chicken dinner sales to bury them. Come on, family, we got to be proactive. Get some life insurance. Come on, let's be proactive. Let's have some conversation about gun violence, gun safety, about sexual predators, about what's going on with our young boys and our young girls.
Mhm.
Let's be proactive. Let us
Yeah.
not be reactive.
Yes, and you know what? There's this group that's going around the world actually of people that look like us, and they're doing these phenomenal workshops. I think it's called Youth Violence and Conflict Resolution Seminar, right? Youth
Okay.
Violence Conflict Resolution Seminar, and they go to different boys and girls clubs and schools and all throughout the community, honestly throughout the world, and they'll do workshops on conflict resolution and gun violence. They do role playing, but most importantly, they bring in the biblical principles behind it. They also have a um Instagram page. So I think it's, you know, just the acronym like Youth Violence Conflict Resolution Seminar, just like those letters. But yeah, but go on, hit them up on Instagram, so you can find out more about it. You could probably Google it. I don't know if they have an actual website, but definitely Google it and look it up, because they're doing some phenomenal work, and it needs to spread, you know, continue to spread throughout the world. So call them in as well, to help out also.
Yeah, and
So
what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to reach out through my connections, and we're going to try to get them on the show to talk about what they're doing. Because at the end of
great.
the day, each one needs to teach one. Because if
That's
each
right.
one teach one, then each one can reach one. And if each one can teach one and each one can reach one, each one can then begin to bring about the healing we need to bring about in our community, and the positive things in our community, that we can speak about some of the triumphs instead of always talking about the times that we're victimized and our losses. We got to start talking about victories, and we got to start
That's right.
positioning ourselves to tell people that we are more victorious than we are in the place that we are victimized. Come on,
You're
family,
right.
we got
You're
to
right.
do better.
And you know, Joe, I always tell people, I said it during my graduation speech that I gave last week. I was telling the people, we cannot continue to glorify our war stories. For whatever reason in
Come
our
on,
community, we always tend to
come
think
on.
that the more we tell, even when family gets together, we always want to tell the stories of how we got beat so bad and how we did this and that. And some of it's funny, but it's still war stories and it's still trauma. So we're still glorifying the trauma. And when we speak a lot about the negative people or the negative things that has happened to us, yes, it can, you know, give life somewhat, or help people to understand, but we cannot give life to such negative situations. We have to turn stuff around and focus on the positive. We have to make more positive memories, happy memories, healthy memories. And even with our families this summer, it does not take a bunch of money to do certain things with your children. You know, the
Come on.
same sandwich that you were about to give them for lunch today, you know what? Pack up that sandwich, put it in a little bag, walk down the block to the park, drive to the park, get the bus to the park, take a little blanket, sit down and have that same sandwich you were going to have with your child for lunch. Have it outside. Do something different. You know, have it, call it family movie night, and have, you know, your snacks and sit in the living room or whatever room you're in and watch a family movie. You can do a lot of stuff with the resources you have. Stop always thinking that you have to spend extra money, to do stuff. And if you don't have any children, or your children, God forbid, are deceased, or you just never had children, or maybe they're away at college, or they're just adults and you're home alone, it's okay. You can still connect with others, but still get out, find a way to feel of service to the community. It will, in turn, make you feel better. So just get
Yeah,
engaged, y'all. Get engaged.
yeah, get engaged, get involved, make this a great summer. We're just coming off the Memorial Day weekend. You know, they say this was the most traveled Memorial Day weekend in history. You know, a lot of folks keep on saying hashtag we back outside. And since you're back outside, let's be responsible. Let us be human. Let us be a place that we can enjoy each other's company without us having to wake up the next day with an argument broke out, tragedy broke loose, unnecessary gun violence, and now we got to do slow singing and flower bringing because some idiot wanted to bring a gun to a peaceful picnic, a peaceful concert, a peaceful gathering, and all of a sudden it turns into a situation of tragedy and tears. It is 8 minutes, 8 minutes to the top of the hour. Welcome to hashtag Truth Be Told. Tomorrow we will have a great guest on who will be immersed in, of course, the political season is almost here, y'all. We're going to be waking up real soon, and we're going to either have the same president in office or we're going to have a new president in office. And you need to know that your vote matters, that your vote is your voice and your voice has power. So we're going to be having some real conversations about that. Jax, I hope Brother Fatim's lights come back on. We're going to have to call and check on them as soon as we get off.
I know. I hope so too. And you know, Joe, like you said, this is real. You know, all these cyber attacks from China and other countries and stuff, we could totally get shut down. And if you're not prepared, you know, I mean, it's perilous times. So we really have to recognize. I know people want to go back and forth about, well, how do we know it's a God? Or I don't think we should, you know, like there's a lot of conversation back and forth about it. But guess what, doggone it? What if there is a God? You know what I'm saying? What if there is a God? We're so worried about, you know, being hypercritical about what if it isn't. But what if it is? Then what? Where do you stand if that's the case? Where do you stand?
Right.
Are you prepared? Right. Because guess what? When the whole world and everything gets shut down and the famine comes about, and do you have food stocked up? Do you have enough water stocked up? Do you have your ammunition? Do you have your gun? Do you have a safe space to be in? We have to get prepared. We have to get prepared because it's not a joke. And people think it's a joke. People think it's a joke till it comes down knocking at their door. But like y'all said, we had the earthquake when we were live, and I was sitting there, the whole room is shaking. You know, then the whole country was shaking. You know, now Fatim lights are out. I mean, it's no telling what could happen. We also had the problem, what was it, with AT&T or something, Joe?
Right.
We had problems with Wi-Fi on our show as well. So we just got to be prepared, people. Life is not a joke. Like I say, this ain't no dress rehearsal. It's the real thing. So we got to dress up every day and make it happen.
So Sister Jax, as we get ready to get up out of here, thank you for everybody who was in the chat. Thank you who was tuned in live on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Facebook. Give me some closing words where we can get up out this thing.
Closing words, make sure if you're in Hades today, wherever it's super hot, make sure you stay hydrated. And by the time you lick your lips, that means you're already dehydrated. So stay hydrated, drink plenty of water. Try to stay away from like the Gatorades and all that kind of stuff because there's a lot of other components that are not quite healthy for us in Gatorade, but mostly focus on your water intake. Get to a safe place where it's cool. Find a cooling center if you don't have air within your home. Dress with loose, light-fitting clothes on, and just be safe, be healthy, be wise, be good. Until tomorrow, guys. Can't wait to see y'all tomorrow. Have a good one. Peace out.
That's how we do it, family. Listen, it's the road show. Jack's on the road in Brick City. I'm rolling down I-10, headed to Louisiana. I'm still in the great state of Texas, the big hot Hades state of Texas. But listen, as this inclement weather that they are predicting is coming through, listen, be safe, be careful. We just crossing the Louisiana state line. I'm back in the booth, y'all. So tomorrow we'll be live in studio. Brother Fatim, we're going to check on him and make sure his lights on. I'm going to make sure that Mr. Charlie ain't turned his lights off. And we'll be back. Remember, be better today than you were yesterday. And do something today to be a blessing to somebody somewhere that there's no earthly way that they can pay you back. And always remember that there is no secret. There's absolutely no secret what God can do. What he has done for others, he will and he can do for you. For when God is with you, nobody or nothing can stand against you. We'll see you tomorrow. It will be Work It Out Wednesday. First thing we're going to do on this Tell the Truth Tuesday is work it out and get Brother Fatim lights back on. So we'll see y'all tomorrow. Y'all be blessed. Have a great day. We out. Peace.